believe in? Like, what is something you believe in, or what is a phrase that you think about that motivates you, or that impacts you in a powerful way?
One that I've always like kind of believed in, a quote. I don't necessarily know who said it first, but a lot of athletes kind of I always hear it nowadays. It's like, and this is a quote I've believed in for like the past 10 years, and this exact question came to me, and I answered the same way like 10 years ago. Yeah. And it's cool to like see, like, even 10 years later.
Yes, it's still relevant.
It's still relevant. It still kind of stays the same. And that phrase is like, just hard work beats out talent when talent fails to work hard. And that kind of and a lot of people, it's not just athletes. It's not just relevant to athletes. It's relevant to anything. You can have like really good, skills at something, or you can be good with numbers or whatever it may be. But if you don't work at it, somebody else is gonna pass you. Yeah. Somebody else is gonna get that.
It's gonna outwork you.
Somebody else is gonna outwork you.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they're gonna get to that level that you should have been if you had worked hard.
Yes.
So there's always room to, like, even if you're not the most skillful person at whatever you do, there's always room to like get to a place that you want to be.
Get to a place of mastery. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? If you just it's crazy how you're already dropping the jewels, you're already dropping the knowledge in terms of it's about hard work at the end of the day. It's about the process at the end of the day. It's about putting yourself in that position and going towards what you need to go towards. And it's amazing how even if you have talent, if you have if it feels natural to you, even though I'm not a natural, I can still organically beat you. Yeah. Just by putting in the work. If you want to stand still, I can still surpass you. Yeah.
It's not enough. It's not enough to just have the talent. It's not enough to just like have the talent and not work with it. Yeah. And like kind of develop it and nurture it and see where it kind of goes. It's not enough.
It's not enough. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm with a natural bodybuilder. He's a personal trainer and mental motivationist. He was born in Harlem and raised in the Bronx, who cultivates himself in not only knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, but also the lessons that you need to motivate yourself. He endeavors to not only build himself up, but to build other young black men throughout the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the third in nationals?
Yeah, third in nationals.
Ooh, third in the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the third in the nation with us. Third in the nation. Just to think about that achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, King Dom. How you doing, bro?
I appreciate
it. I love that, man. I love that, bro. It's crazy because, like, I really do appreciate your level of determination, your level of discipline, and your level of just commitment, bro, to achieve what you achieved and to become who you became. Listen, everybody, so the thing about this guy, how I met him, I'm in the park and I'm working out and I'm exercising, right? And I see this guy across from me, and this guy is getting it in. His physique is amazing. And the thing is, most people call me goals in terms of my physique. This is my goals right here. This is goals for me. You feel what I'm saying? And as I'm watching him, there's a natural unspoken respect that comes from, I'm here getting it in, you're here getting it in as well. And it was like, we're two kings, you know what I mean? I appreciate seeing another black man working on himself and developing himself. And so as he was doing one of his sets, I just told him that I just finished my pull-up set, and my imagination in my head was I was doing this for my younger son because I want to be an example for my future son. And I was having this thought, I was pushing the reps out, and he does his pull-ups next after me. And when he does it after me, I immediately take off my headphones and I just tell him what motivated me, like, get it in. You feel what I'm saying? You're doing this for your son. You're doing this for your future son. And he immediately understood, and he was like, that was powerful. You know what I mean? And that just started off a dialogue between us where he was putting me onto things about knowing yourself and about where you should be within yourself emotionally. The thing is, we're exercising, but he was able to still put me on in an internal sense. So even when you work out it is not something that is external, it's something that is internal. And we were still, as we're exercising, we're still talking about the principles. We're talking about lessons. We're talking about things about our lives that affected our experience as we're working out. So you really see that the world that you create for yourself is a mental world. And everyone understands that. And when someone understands that outside of you, it's a beautiful thing when y'all come together. So again, bro, welcome to the channel. I just want to ask you, where did you come up with the name Pound for Pound Fit? Where did that come from? Where's Pound for Pound Fit?
I always, obviously Mayweather. He was always like, he was always around when I was growing up. So I always kind of see him, and pound for pound means like number one, and it means like the best, like no matter what, no matter how much you weigh, no matter, and no matter what your weight class is, it just means the best.
I'm the best.
I'm the best. And
I'm the best.
That's kind of
look at this confidence. Exactly.
That's kind of how it came to about. And I just, the name kind of flows too, and that's how the name came.
It's funny because when I first seen it, I thought it said Profound Fit, and I thought it said Profound Fit. And I was like, yo, Profound. I was going Profound Fit for mad long, and then I had to actually look, and I was like, oh, it's Pound for Pound Fit. I still fuck with that.
Profound Fit is actually a good name.
You're a trademark. We're gonna trademark that. Profound Fit.
It's actually a good name.
So when did you start your fitness journey? Like, when did you start really sculpting yourself?
I would say definitely when it was like sophomore year of high school, and I was playing football around at that time, and I was in and out of the gym, and then I actually kind of started to give it a little bit more of my time, because I actually started to enjoy it, and it was making me better on the field as I kind of seen, and I just started actually enjoying the time as opposed to like just doing it and really just doing it and going through the motions. And I really started enjoying it, really started to enjoy like the changes that it made on my body.
So
and
it was really like
on my
the results that was on your mind too?
On my mind. It kind of put my mind at ease.
Yes.
Like once I like did it for a month, and I was like, oh, okay, this is how you kind of do it. Yes. Then it was like quote unquote like therapy for me. It was like real.
Doesn't
easy
like the gym become like your safe zone? It becomes like your home.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
saying? Like
safe place,
safe space.
It's like if I feel the sort of way, I can always go there and release it, or I can handle it there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
whatever that feeling is, whether it's anger, whether it's like you just need like to just let stuff loose. Like that's where like it helped me, and it helped me like just go there and like kind of release. It's definitely like a safe space for me.
Was there anybody that you've seen who also worked on their fitness prior to your sophomore year playing football? Of course, the team is exercising around you, but when you were younger, who were you watching? That like, where did fitness even come from? Like, when was it even in your mind?
So like definitely my uncle on my mom's side. This guy was like huge. He had like big arms. He was like 6'3", big dude. And like unconsciously, it like hit me like, damn, I want to kind of look like that. Still didn't have like the mentorship. He was always like kind of busy. My dad wasn't there, so like it was still like I wanted to do that, but I didn't know how to go about it. So it was still in the back of my mind.
That image of him and how he looked, it was like, you know what, I see him as a superhero. It was my dad too. I see my dad as like a superhero when I was younger, and I always wanted to. For me too, was action figures. I'm looking at action figures, and I'm like, I want the action figure physique. I want like the Tekken physique. I'm looking at Blade and like Wesley Snipes' Ock. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's really, that was where I came from, was looking at bodybuilders. So I was watching when I was smaller. My dad would put in Pumping Iron.
Oh yeah.
And we would watch Kai Green. I'm watching Phil Health. I'm watching Arnold Schwarzenegger. And this is when we were watching Pumping Iron on VHS. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So this is on the tape back in the day.
That was a while ago.
So yeah, it's a while ago. So but that was where I was getting my motivation from, and I'm bringing like my dad's bodybuilding like magazine to school, and like casting like, ew, like, what you looking at that for? But like for me, of course, they don't know. I'm looking at for aestheticism. I'm like, yo, look at his delts, yo. Like, yo, look at his triceps. Like, look at his quads. Like, these guys look ill mad. Like, look at his triceps. Like, the whole, it was interesting to me. And I was like, you know, when I get to a certain age, I want to look like that. You know what I mean? Or, so that was how it was imprinted in my mind. That's why I find it interesting how other people imprinted it, because it's usually from, you see another man do it, or you see like a cartoon do it, or just the image how was the image imprinted? Okay, so
yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean. So you start exercising in sophomore year. A little bit.
No, well, let me cut you off.
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny that like my same uncle that I mentioned, like he look at me now, he's like, oh man, you wow, you're gold. You
like, you goals, I'm goals. Now you said I'm
and it's funny. It sounds funny, but it's like, like I came a long way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking back, and he's like, damn, you
goals.
You kind of passed the torch a little bit.
You say,
go ahead.
No, I think it's amazing because it's amazing how like your idols become your rivals.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Your idols become your, and it's wild because you never when you get to that point, now you're looking at yourself like, damn, who am I?
Like where did I come from? That just stems from like when you have your head down and you just work, man. And it's
you really don't think about. I never thought about the result.
Yeah.
Like I'm detached from the result. I am in it for the work.
Yeah.
Like I am in it for the process.
Process.
I think that was really important. That's just really important just in life, just to put your head down towards the process. And the thing is, when you look up, and everybody's looking at you like, damn, you different. You're a different person. You're a different dude. Like, what have you been doing? And it's really just concentration. What does discipline mean to you?
It just means. It honestly just means like having a goal and sticking to it for me. Like having a goal and not allowing anything else to like come in between that goal. So when you have a goal and you know like that you want to achieve and you're actually willing to do it, then what are the steps that come with that? And then not allow anything else to like get in between.
Divert you
from your goal. That's it. That's how discipline is.
I like that.
And it's like it's real simple. It doesn't need to be too complex. Yeah. And a lot of people make it complex. It's not that simple. It's not that. So
when you say you make it complex, I almost feel like, are you talking about the people you train sometimes, like your clients? Are your clients? Do you have to teach discipline? Like when you teaching discipline. Like, do you teach discipline to your clients?
I don't teach. No, I wouldn't say I teach discipline. I'm trying. When I train my clients, I teach them how to. I'm teaching them how to coach themselves. I'm not trying to tell them what to do. I'm trying to teach them how to come up with the answer. And figure it out. And I've learned that like when people come up with the answer themselves, they're more likely to follow. But if you tell them what to do, they're more likely to just like not do it when you're not there.
So what type of questions do you ask your clients to get them in that to the answer of like what is a regular
Well, you just gotta. I think it just depends on what you want. Like what do you like? What's one of your goals?
Yes.
Or what's something that you want to accomplish? How are you going to get there? How can I help you get there? Like stuff like that. And what like you have to keep digging. I've learned, and you just can't take the first answer because the first answer is like it's not the deeper issue. It's not the deeper issue.
Yes,
like if I ask you,
yes,
why do you want to get stronger, or why do you like if your goal is to lift 315?
Yes.
Well, what is that going to do for you? All right. Oh, that's going to make me feel strong.
Yes.
Why do you want to feel strong? Like, what is that going to do for you? What is feeling strong going to do for you? And then that's how you kind of dive a little bit deeper, and you just ask more questions. It's called like motivational interviewing.
Yes.
And that's just like
motivational interviewing.
Yeah, yeah, and that's like really, that's kind of. Sorry, I kind of messed that up.
No, it's
motivational interviewing. Is that right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, just asking questions in order to dive a little bit deeper and
so
really
to get to the motivation of why they're doing what they're doing, why you want what you want. So it's like, I want to know what your why is. Like just figuring out what the why is, because if I can figure out what your why is, then I can motivate you from that standpoint. This is what you want to achieve. I need to get into the what are the setup? What is this? The thing is, what's amazing for me is that you really see how somebody sees themselves.
Yeah.
You really see somebody's self-image, like when they ask them questions. So why do y'all feel? Why do you want to feel strong? And because you also get into people's insecurities. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing is, you see that they're trying to overcompensate for insecurity, as opposed to trying to empower with their foundation, what they already are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's why for me it's important. I always, like, when I'm about to train someone, I always get into like motivations, and I want to hear them. Like, what are your motivation? What is your why? And you have to have a why strong enough to get to your result.
Exactly.
And that's also important for you as well. Do you feel like you also have you have to have a why that'll get you through the hard times?
Yeah, like if your why is not strong enough, then like when it comes to like you going to do a workout, but I really don't want to do a workout, you're not going to do that workout. Yeah. Like, it's just that simple. Your why has to like just be more powerful than all those days that you want to just quit, all those days when you just want to give up. Your why has to be stronger than, or you're not going to get it done. Yeah.
Should say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because even thinking about your why, do you feel like your why has to be inner directed or outer directed? For example, it's like I love the why of people who have kids, because they know that their kids can't be derelict. Their kids has to eat. You know what I'm saying? Their kids has to have clothes on their back. That being their why, because the way they move is so much different and so empowered, because I'm not just doing this for myself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to motivate for yourself, there's only so far you can go. But when you have to do it for your family, when you have to do it for your community, when you have to do it for, just your family. You know what I mean? Right. That why in itself, that motivation is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree, but I think the other form of it is so much harder. Like just like what you were saying before, like doing it for you don't have a son yet, but your son is on it's gonna come at some point. In the future. So how like thinking about that even before he's actually here, and being able to motivate yourself before he's actually here, and not having that tangible
motivate from an intangible
place. And from an intangible place is like even harder to do.
Yeah, what you say.
But yeah, I think both work though. Both work. I just think it's harder to like when it's intangible. Yeah. But I think
so. Your intangible motivation for bodybuilding, what is that? What is that? What is that motivation? What gets you like? Because I know there are days where you're just like, yo, you do not feel like doing nothing like that, bro. I know for a fact there were days you was like, son, I'm not lifting up this.
I think
you went.
I think my intangible like motivation just stems from like honestly reaching my potential and being able to like really like do all I can, because there's a lot of stuff that I could be doing other than lifting weights and other than like going to the gym, but actually like really giving my all, focusing on a goal, and actually giving your all to that goal.
Like directing yourself intentionally.
Exactly. Intentionally, purposely to that goal. Whatever that goal may be, your goal is not the same as mine, or there's a lot of goals that aren't the same as mine, but like whatever that goal is, like really being present and really like being intentional and purposeful with your goal. That's how you achieve it.
What do you think about visualization? Like, do you visualize your
definitely
goal?
Definitely. Like, I daydream, I'm visualizing. You know, I mean, when I'm sleeping, I'm visualizing exactly how I want to look, how I want to be, how I want my future to look. And I just think that like visualization, you have to start even like it just comes with something else. It comes with the work. Yes. Right? If you just visualize, if you're just visualizing.
It's like, I wish, and you're just wishing.
You're just wishing. You're not putting anything behind it.
Yeah, there's nothing concrete to back that wish up. Like,
exactly.
So it's just going to remain a dream.
Remain a dream. It's going to remain something that like out of reach, you know.
So for me, it's definitely interesting that you say that. That you say it's like, you know, you have to visualize, and you're constantly visualizing, you're constantly daydreaming, because I always imagine that what we become is what we visualize.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that same faculty that we use when we were kids. You remember that when we were kids, we would visualize. We used to visualize how we would be as adults. Oh, yeah. Do you feel like you became, to an extent, the energy that you exude now? Did you become the person that your younger self used to visualize? And when I say younger self, let's say like 10, like 11, 18.
I always knew I was going to be like fit. I always knew I was going to be like, yeah, because
he knew the energy. You know your energy,
I always knew it. I always kind of
the confidence.
I always knew it, and I think a lot of people around me always knew it. They because that's the vibe I kind of gave off.
It was just the energy. It was just your energy.
The energy, like. I was overweight when I was younger, but like I was always like interested in like learning about my body, and I was always wanted to better my body, learning about nutrition, stuff like that, learning about like just what makes me tick, you know, and and like I think a lot of people around me kind of knew the same thing and knew that.
So they seen that seed of potential that you were, you know what I mean? It was like if you just focused. So is that why I remember you telling me that what got you into bodybuilding was definitely the guys around you. You know what I mean? And seeing that potential in you and challenging that potential in you. Yeah. And them challenging that potential in you. Talk to me, like, how important is it that to have people around you that challenge you to actualize your potential?
Yeah, they keep you accountable at the end of the day. Like it keeps you accountable. You need people around you, the right kind of team. To challenge you. Sometimes you don't want to challenge yourself, and it's nothing wrong with that. You have to work your way up to get there, but you need some people around you to challenge you in order to get to your potential. And that was the first time like I did a bodybuilding show when someone challenged me, and they were doing a show as well, and they wanted me to partake. They knew I had the body for it. They were,
and just knocked it out.
And but before the year before, I was just like,
I don't know.
I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to,
because there's so much that comes with it, right? Like,
so much that comes.
What was the hardest part for you? Was it the actual exercising? Was it the dieting? Was it the time management?
It was everything.
What was?
It was everything. It was the regimen. It was the regimen of it. It's very time consuming.
Yes.
But it's worth it because you see your body in a different light, and you see exactly what kind of makes you tick. You see what works, honestly. Yeah. You see what works, and you see how to really change your body.
You see, do you almost see the value of your attention as well? Like the value of your attention increases because you see what you can create with a committed attention to something. So do you feel like the value that you give to your attention is more than before you committed to working out?
Before I commit,
like the value of just, you know what I mean? Like, looking at something and just the value of attention. You know what I mean? Like,
my value definitely, like, once I committed to it and really, like, told myself I was going to do it, your value instantly, like, everything changes. Like, everything changes for the better. You know, you don't look at things the same way. You just don't. And it's like, all right, I got to do this no matter what. It's gonna get done, you know, and that's just how it's gonna. You know, you don't go through that, you know, that portion in time where you thinking about going to the gym. Yeah. You don't go through that. You don't go. Yeah, you get up and go. Yeah, I'm going. You get up and go.
It's being like a man. It's action.
Yeah, it's like action. Like, you don't. Yeah, it's just like it takes it away. It's so like
how much is bodybuilding? So bodybuilding. Would it be the internal aspect of bodybuilding would be 70%, and then the actual exercising would be 30%, or would the internal be 80% and then the exercising 20%? Is it 80? Is it 80, 70?
It's probably like 70-30.
70-30. Okay. Mental. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's all
70 mental.
it's all mental. It's all mental. Exercise is important and whatnot, but it's 70% mental.
70% mental.
For sure.
I like that. I like that.
For sure.
70% mental.
Yeah. I think everyone should kind of go through it and see for themselves like how it feels. But I know for a fact, it kind of changed me once I went through it, and I was just like, wow, it's very hard to do. It's difficult to like start. But once you start, it's like it gets easier. Now you just going with the flow. Now you know what you got to do. Like you're going to the gym, you know.
So I like that. It's like you're moving with a purpose. You just know. There's no belief. There's no feeling.
Yeah.
No.
You know.
I know.
You know what you're gonna do.
I like that. Yeah.
And
I think that changes the structure of your whole day. It changes how you move. Like even how people perceive you and how, because of the confidence, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Like imagine the walk of someone like I kind of like not knowing where they're going, kind of looking lost, as opposed to someone I know where I'm going, the confidence, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's different.
So I think that's how do you feel like that's how you gain confidence, just by knowing where you're going, just the purpose?
Having a plan, knowing where you're going. Like I always, like there was this quote, and not a quote, it was like a gold medalist, I forgot where I read it, it was in a book, but he was like, I would literally, when I go to the grocery store, I would have a list, and I would have a list of my groceries on the list, and I would literally spend like 10 minutes in the grocery store. But when I would go without a list, I would spend like 40 minutes in there because I didn't know what to get. I didn't know, but if I know exactly what to get, and I know, orange juice, I know milk, I know
the different sections. Everybody's experienced that, where you start perusing, now you're scanning things that you don't need, or do I need that, or like that. So the value of preparation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like preparation is key.
Getting your goal, knowing what that goal kind of entails, knowing what you like, the things that you need to achieve that goal, and then doing what you need. Are you willing? First of all, asking yourself, are you willing to achieve that goal? Yeah. If you're not willing, the goal is not going to be able to achieve. Yes. You shouldn't even try. And then once you're willing to achieve that goal, what are the steps.
So it's really it's a decision. It's a decision. That's really all it is. It's just
what it boils down to. It's
just a decision. But I think what we don't think about is how the ramifications of the decision. Mm-hmm. It's like this one decision can be years down the line. So I have to account for me, I'm always accounting for my future self. Mm-hmm. Like is my future self going to profit from it? Because he's the one who's going to be experiencing the ramifications of this big decision that I'm making right now. Mm-hmm. So is he willing to put in the work? Am I willing to put in the work? So it takes a level of knowing yourself. Oh, yeah, definitely. Sure. You know what I mean? You definitely have to know yourself before you commit to a certain level. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
I always like to ask myself questions, like literally just ask yourself, are you willing? Are you willing to take this on? And then I also think like it shows like how present you are in the moment, like when you're making a decision. Like, are you willing? Ask yourself that question. Are you willing to take this on? And if you're not, you can honestly say no. It's not gonna make you. It's not gonna make you any
lesser.
Or any
I feel
lesser
like you have to, but I feel like you have to acknowledge that though.
Exactly.
Like as a reference point. So let's say I'm weak, right? I have to acknowledge I'm weak to be strong. Yeah. I have to start from weakness to strength. You have to start somewhere, basically. Yes. You have to start somewhere, but you have to be real with yourself in the moment. Let's say you're broke. You have to acknowledge that you're broke so that you can become wealthy, so that you can become rich.
That's how.
You know what I'm saying? You just have to create that reference point for your growth.
I think that's how, that's what rehab and addiction is kind of like. Addiction, coming off of addiction. That's how what it stemmed around. Like, you have to acknowledge that you have an addiction, and then acknowledge the steps in order to change it. Change it. Therapy as well. Same thing. You have to acknowledge, like, whatever the trauma is, whatever, you gotta acknowledge that stuff, and then you can take the steps to change it. But if you never acknowledge it, then it's never gonna change.
Do you feel like therapy is important for us?
I think therapy, as we were talking before, like therapy and mentorship is the most important for Black people in general.
for black people in general, just therapy and mentorship.
Therapy and mentorship, like that's I think everyone.
What has therapy done for you? Like, what is it? Is it revealed? So revealed traumas, healed traumas. Increase your self-image. Has it changed your relation to how you deal with certain people?
All those things. So it revealed trauma, and it also allows you to unpack trauma that you've never really. It's always been in the back of your mind, but you never really spoke about. And it's always like kind of in the box inside.
Definitely in the box.
Definitely in the box inside.
Because there's levels to it. It's not just because even when you open the box and look at the trauma, right? It really isn't unpacking. It really is.
It's really like getting that stuff out, and then once you get that stuff out, like a lot of people say, like you make it real once you talk about it and whatnot, and you have to make it real in order to like get over it and to like start to heal or whatever it may be. Like if you need to heal or whether you just need to talk about it in order to like get over it.
Like express it. It's almost like something. Get off your chest.
Yeah, a lot of people like they carry around like the trauma, or they carry around things and that things that they may have experienced, and it's just honestly it's just weighing them down. And like that's what therapy has done for me. Like it's made me lighter. It's made me like lighter. Like so I'm not carrying all that weight, and you don't have
crazy. It really does feel like weight.
It's weight, and you don't understand until you like actually go through a therapy session, and you're like getting a lot of stuff off your chest, and you come out of that therapy session like I feel like a feather. I feel like I can jump to the ceiling, and I think
that's amazing because it's really like how important the mental and emotional is. Yeah. It's so important that it can physically make you feel lighter from what you're doing and releasing from within yourself. It's nothing out here. It's everything in here. But physically, you're like, I feel lighter. I feel better. It's changing. I feel like I got it out. You know what I mean? And I think it's important that when you're also unpacking, now you can see all these elements. But there's some things that you appreciated looking back. Like, even though it was trauma, it made you who you are today. So it was like, without that trauma, I wouldn't have processed this way.
I don't think so. I think I get what you're saying, but I get it. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that like you do for the moment because it's a survival mechanism. Yeah. And you do it, you do that in order to deal with it and not, fall off the face of the earth. You know? And it's just a survival mechanism. So I think we all have survival mechanisms that we just we go to in order to like help us in that certain situation. Yeah. But those survival mechanisms aren't going to help you as you go on through life.
They don't serve you.
They don't serve you the right way because you're always, when you feel uncomfortable in any way, you're just going to always transition back to that. But that's not the right answer.
It's interesting that people do that. Yeah. They to adapt to a situation, right? They affect a way of life or a way of processing. But once they get out that situation, now it's a toxic trait. Yeah. But it wasn't toxic when you were doing it. When you were doing it, it was actually It was helping you. It was self. What's the word? I can't think. Self-serving. It was self-serving. That's amazing. How something can go from self-serving in this reality. You move into a different reality, and now that behavior is toxic, and now it's working against you.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people.
That's what therapy is. That's what's crazy. That's what therapy is, and that's what a lot of people don't know. That's a lot of people.
So you see a lot of your own toxicity at the same time.
Yeah, you see exactly what makes you toxic in certain situations.
Word.
And you start to like unpack it. And you see, and like you don't know these stuff until like people tell you about it. People tell you about that stuff, and you're like, I don't see it. You don't see it only because you used it for so long, and it made you who you kind of are.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's why some people do not want to break away from those traumas. Because then you have to break away from your whole entire reality.
Okay.
Because so let's say someone built their entire reality on this one belief that was based on that toxic behavior. Now you learn that this toxic behavior is wrong, but you just created a whole reality. You're sitting in the reality that you created with that toxic behavior. Now it's like, oh damn, now I have to shift my whole way of being. And it's a lot of, it's going to be hard for a lot of people. They don't want to admit it. So they stay. That's what happens to a lot of people. You'll be like, yo, why are you acting toxic? It's because I built my reality this way. If I let it go, I have to let everything is a lie, basically. Even how I see myself, how I'm treating this person, it's all a lie. And so a lot of people don't want to face themselves. So I think it's important to face yourself.
Absolutely. And I think, that's a great way of putting it, because they build everything around like a lie, basically. Not a lie, but like a behavior that
a belief idea.
A belief, an idea. And what you gotta understand is that, like, if, like, for me, like, even when I was like in peak shape, I still wasn't satisfied. And I wasn't satisfied because mentally I wasn't satisfied. Physically I was like in crazy ass shape. So mentally I wasn't all there. And I always knew something was up. You know? So
there was just like this sense of like dissatisfaction.
Exactly. Exactly. And you have to recognize that yourself. You have to recognize like it's like there's certain times where you just are dissatisfied. And if you want to change, then you change. If you don't, then you want to keep living in that reality. That's on you. But, like if you want to change, if you want to seek change, if you know you need a change, if you know like it's something there that that it's always bugging me, that's always there, that's always like in the back of my mind, and you want to change it, you have to change. You have to shift that whole.
But I think it's interesting because sometimes we think that it's gonna go away. I think that's what's really important too. Is that's why you never skip the steps, because you always feel like it won't matter. No one will see. No one saw it. No one saw it. So let's say you didn't learn basic math, and nobody saw it. Nobody saw that step in the process that you skipped. Now you're at this process where you're becoming an adult and you don't know how to manage money the right way because of something that you did not learn foundationally. And it's like you skipped the process. You didn't look at that. How can I explain it? How important is the steps to you within the process? Do you feel like, okay, a lot of people want these things, but they don't want to look within themselves? Do you feel like it's important that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people want certain things, but they're not willing to admit that they need to be vulnerable in order to get it. And they were just, because in that same example that you said, like, you have to, before you can learn anything, you have to admit that you didn't know, and you didn't want to know. And actually, from then you can start learning.
It's like you have to create that reference point for growth so that you can move forward.
Yeah. But if you don't get that reference point, then you're always like, I should learn, but I don't want to learn because I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to be in that situation when I'm learning all those things. When I should have learned it, 10 years ago.
I think you should really just.
It's hard.
It is hard. It is a hard thing.
For you, it's like it's probably might be a little bit easier. Like, I need to learn this. It's gonna help me. A lot of people, it's not like that.
I think it's based on like self-image. A lot of people weren't empowered when they were younger. They weren't told you're a king, you're a champion, you're a warrior, you can do this. So they don't have that internal dialogue that naturally makes them, okay, I'm going to progress. I'm going to actualize my potential. I'm going to work hard. A lot of people don't have that, So
I think that is awesome. Like, I didn't have that when I was growing up. But I definitely plan on, really.
What is something that you would tell someone like who doesn't have that? like who didn't grow up with that. Like, how can they begin to change it? You would just tell them to look at their internal dialogue now? Like, look at where they are now? Like,
I think internal dialogue is one of the most important things, because if you're looking at yourself in a negative light, then it's going to reflect your reactions to things. And it's going to reflect everything. It's going to reflect how you react. It's going to reflect how you perceive things. It's going to reflect everything.
How do I begin changing that?
I think a great way is therapy.
See, go back to that. Go back to that theme.
I keep telling you, like, because like you can always kind of self-medicate and like think of like when you are having those negative thoughts, really kind of changing that to positive thoughts, but you don't really get to see like the tools that a therapist can like help you with until you're actually there, you know. And I always related to like somebody working out, and you know, sometimes maybe their form is right, sometimes maybe their form is off a little bit, but actually having a great personal trainer or a great fitness instructor actually telling you like, oh, this is what you kind of need to do in order to develop that. This is kind of where your back needs to be. This is where your form needs to be. Like, and that is gonna
those tools, so that you can,
so that you can get to your goal a lot faster.
Yeah,
and that's what a therapist does. It's just professional.
A professional at putting you in position mentally and emotionally so that you can grow and you can develop your self-image,
heal. You can stop using negative thoughts.
Did having a therapist, does it make you a stronger bodybuilder?
I think so.
Wow.
I think so. Yeah, and
that's powerful.
Yeah, I think
that's powerful.
And
I need me a therapist. I need me a therapist, bro. I need me a therapist.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's one of the, like 2020 this whole 2020. That's one of the best decisions I've made.
Yeah, I think. 2020, we do all need a therapist. Wait a second, I'm thinking about this. We really all need a therapist for 2020. We need someone, I think I call it the emotional support system.
Yeah.
We all need to have a valid emotional support system, because sometimes your friends don't want to hear everything that's going on with you, or you don't want to share everything that's going on with you, and then going that deep, they're not going to go that deep with you. Like you said, the therapist is just a professional at it. You know what I mean?
He's professional, and he's gonna, he's gonna dive, and he's gonna get to the real questions, get to the, the why. The why. Whether it's trauma, whether it's something that you need to heal from, something that a question that you might have about yourself. He's gonna get to that why, and then that's how you heal. And if you don't ask those questions, they don't get answered. It's just simple as that.
You have to ask the right questions.
You gotta ask the right questions.
Wow. Yo, guys, this man is so knowledgeable and so intelligent not when it comes to bodybuilding, but when it comes to life as well. The way he is able to articulate the principles that motivated him in terms of his bodybuilding, that motivated him in terms of his training, is inspiring. I love his confidence. I love how he postures himself, and how for him, he's so laid back that when he looks at his achievements, he doesn't see what we see in terms of the us seeing the determination and us seeing the amount of discipline that it takes to achieve what he achieves. I've learned that you definitely need to delve into the process. You need to trust yourself. You need to have a team. You need to have a mentor. And you need to have a therapist. And so, for me, bro, I feel like I've gotten a lot of value from this conversation. And it's giving me direction on what I need to do next so that I can progress within myself into a more refined self-image. Because I feel like I'm in a good place now. Yeah. But I feel like you can always improve. You can always be better.
You can always be better.
So, bro, thank you for giving your knowledge to the channel, bro.
Appreciate you having me.
This is King Dom. Follow him on IG at Pound for Pound Fit. This is Reverend Rah. Bro, is there anything that you want to tell? Anything in terms of your opinion or phrase, anything you want to tell me?
Yeah, I would just say if you've been, because I've always mulled around getting a therapist, and if you mulled around with it, you should just get one, man. And you just see the difference in like your demeanor, your mood,
the way of thinking.
Yeah, you're just gonna see a different change, and you're gonna feel lighter, man. You're gonna feel lighter. You're gonna feel like you're not carrying as much. And I'm telling you right now, like if you do it, you're gonna see a change. If not, then you're gonna kind of wait for things to happen and wait for things to get better, and they're not. It's just that simple.
Yo,